All right, I think we might be live here. All right, give us just a second. Here we go. All right.
Whoa.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so delighted to have everyone here with us today. So we are part of the developer experience team at Esri. And in today's session, we are going to dive into some recent enhancements and other things within our developer documentation and just the general Esri experience. So we'll be showcasing some demos, some useful tools, some additional resources, and that kind of thing. So we are very eager to learn where you're joining us from today. So please feel free to share that in the chat. And while you do so, we'll take a moment to introduce ourselves individually. So,
Courtney, you have introduced Mark to the developer experience team.
What was that?
You have said that Mark is also part of the developer experience team?
True. Okay. Most of us are a part of the developer experience team. Mark is actually joining us from the native SDKs side of things. So we're very happy to have him with us as well. So we've adopted him for today. Yeah. So I'm Courtney. I'm a developer advocate on the developer experience team, and I currently live in Alexandria, Virginia. And my fun fact is, in the last couple of weeks, I've been traveling a bit. So I was actually able to visit 2 out of just 6 of the Seattle Reserve roasteries in the world. I went to Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Sorry, I may have said Seattle. I went to the one in Seattle, and I also went to the one in New York City. So there's one other one in the U.S., which is Chicago, and there's 3 other ones throughout the world. So it was awesome. I recommend the espresso martini. So, all right, I will pass it over to Raul now.
Hey, hello, everyone. So I work in the developer experience team with most of the people in the room. So I mainly focus on helping with events and also managing some of the providing feedback to the documentation team and preparing other resources for you, like Postman collection, other few things. My fun fact is that when I was a kid, I wanted to become a veterinarian. So I want to take care of animals until my parents told me I had to kill them also. Then I decided to go to the computer science path. And here I am.
There you go. All right.
Well, thanks for sharing that role. So, all right, just change the subject. I'm Mark Baird, and I'm an engineering lead in our Maps SDK group based out of the Research and Development Centre in Edinburgh, Scotland. And I've worked very closely with the developer experience team, as you can probably guess. So for my fun fact, the very first computer that I used was a Sinclair ZX81, if we want to share the screen. So I probably used this around about 1981, 1982 in my first year of secondary school. And it was really exciting to use something as cutting edge as this, but it doesn't really sort of work very well for modern day GIS. This computer, it just had 1K of memory, that's 1024 bytes, and the graphics mode was only capable of displaying 64 by 44 pixels in black and white only. So it's a good job that things have moved on quite a bit since then. So we'll hand it over to George.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, my name is George. I work on the developer experience team with Courtney, Raul, and Kevin. I'm a product engineer, and I'm chiefly responsible for maintaining the documentation for how all of our different products work. My fun fact is that in addition to really loving computer science, I also love art and drawing. And I've been working on this project where I have like hundreds of different Post-it notes with art on them and drawings, and I'm actually building a website to display all of them. So kind of like integrating multiple of my passions, and pretty excited about it. So I'll share that when it's live. But yeah, I'll just pass it over to Kevin.
Nice, George. Thank you. Hey, folks. My name is Kevin Gonzago. I'm on the same team with the rest, except for Mark. Right. So, fun fact. Actually, no. Before a fun fact, I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and my focus on the team is primarily around the low-code, no-code app builders. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And a little fun fact about myself is that I love cooking. assembling food, whatever, for my kids and whatnot. I just liked cooking a lot. But when it comes to cleanup, I'm pretty atrocious. So I hate cleanup. Back to you, Courtney.
Nice. Wonder how your wife feels about that.
Not tell her, please.
Yeah, I've met her before, so.
A lot of people joining from around the world.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I see we've got like, Edinburgh, Orlando, Florida, Houston, Texas, Netherlands. Yeah, awesome. Got all sorts of people here. Okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. So we're going to be starting with Mark, and he's going to be showing us some really cool things that he's been doing with ARM Linux, Raspberry Pi. I'll let him get into it because he's the expert on it. So here we go. All right, Mark.
Thank you. So, starting off with a product announcement. So, since our last live stream, we've released a beta release of the Maps SDK for Java. Now, for those of you familiar with our products, I know this is not new. We've had this out there for many years, and it's an API aimed at allowing Java developers, Java desktop developers to embed mapping and GIS capabilities into their own applications that they can deploy onto the Windows, Linux, and Mac platforms. So in this beta, what we've done is we've extended our platform to support to include the ARM chipset-based Linux devices. What does that mean? Well, actually, for me, that's really exciting because for the first time, it really allows us to be able to open up the possibility to run the Maps SDK in embedded devices like Jetson Orin or the Raspberry Pi. So we're just doing a screen share here. So we're looking at a credit card-sized computer that you would use in a very typical IoT project. Now, what this is going to do is give users of the ArcGIS platform a very cost-effective way of collecting sensor data and then writing that into, say, feature services for scientific analysis further down the line. Now, to inspire our customers to try this out, we've been writing a series of blog posts, so you can see how easy it is and also how cost-effective it is to write your own IoT data collection projects. Now, when I say cost effective, now none of the projects that we've worked on has actually cost more than $100 in hardware. So that just gives you an idea. So the blog posts can be found if you go to our ArcGIS blog page off the Esri.com website. And if you just search for the keyword Raspberry, it brings up the first two blog posts in the series. Starting off, the first blog post we put together, we used the Raspberry Pi as a basic GPS data logger. So it's a simple device. We've got the Raspberry Pi. We've made it portable by powering it through a USB bank, and we connected up a USB-based GPS device. Then if I just scroll down, the idea of this project was you could stuff this in your rucksack and then go for a bicycle ride down the road on the east coast of Scotland, where I live, and you can record the positions that you've been in. Now, those of you who are familiar with feature services might ask the question, well, why would you bother using the Maps SDK in this case? Surely you could just use the REST API and just push those data collection points back into your feature service. Well, this would work until about this point here, when you're cycling down the hill from my house, when you lose the internet connection to my home Wi-Fi. After then, all of the points you're going to collect will just be lost. Now, this is where the Maps SDK comes into use, because what we offer
Mark?
is, hello, yeah?
Would you mind zooming in on your screen just a little bit? Because the text is just a little too small.
Oh, right, okay. Let's see if I can just do that live. Is that better?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
So where was I? Yeah, so just talking about the Maps SDK, what it does is it opens up the offline workflows where you can collect data where you don't have any network connectivity at all. So you can request an empty schema that comes in the format of a SQLite geodatabase, and then when I'm continuing cycling beyond that point, I'm collecting the data and storing it in this offline geodatabase. And then at the end of my bicycle ride, when I come back to a point about here, I've got that Wi-Fi connection back. So I can then synchronize the data that I've collected back into the feature service so that we can analyze that data. So I see the offline workflows being particularly well suited to IoT data collection projects, because by their very nature, they're not necessarily going to have permanent internet connections. So just moving on to our second blog post, what we did is we started to look at the kind of sensors that you can use in IoT projects. Again, just using the Raspberry Pi as the platform. The range of sensors that you can make use of here are just quite remarkable. You know, I'm talking wind speed or air pressure or humidity or soil moisture levels or radiation or sunlight strength or magnetometers. I mean, that's far from sort of a complete list. And what we did in this blog post is we made ourselves a Raspberry Pi weather station. So it was very simple. We basically made use of this Bosch BME 280 sensor that allowed us to be able to read in temperature and air pressure and humidity values and write those into a feature service. So the blog post has got all of the wiring diagrams so that you can make this project up for yourself. And here's a picture of the hardware that we use. So you've got the sensor here and the Raspberry Pi. And then to make this a little bit more interesting, so I kind of appreciate that most IoT projects are headless. So, you know, you just put this equipment and you hide it in a tree somewhere to be able to collect data. But what we did is we added in a little 7-inch LCD display that enabled us to be able to write a JavaFX application to show the live readings we were reading on this particular sensor. I think this would make a really good science project if you had sort of a school project going on. And of course, we were writing that information into the feature service. So we've got a live web map inside the blog post where you can look at the temperature and pressure and humidity values that we've been recording from different weather stations that we had set up. Now, one thing I would say about these projects is that whenever you're doing the cabling, you need to make sure you get all of these pins in the right place. Otherwise, you'll fry your Raspberry Pi. But I was quite fortunate in that I had a qualified electrical engineer check all of my cabling for me, just to make sure that it didn't sort of cook anything unnecessarily. Okay, so all of the blog posts that we're writing have got companion GitHub repositories, so you can pull these and run the projects for yourself in exactly the same way as we've written in the blog posts. But of course, you can take the code and you can modify it for your own purposes if you've got different types of sensor that you want to collect information for. So if you're liking what you see and you'd like to be able to try out this technology for yourself, I'd really encourage you to get involved with our beta program and register to get this API. Now, it's completely free to use our developer technologies, and all you need to do is email the address that we've got in the comment section to contact us to get hold of this API, and you can try it out for yourself. So back to you, Courtney.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark. That was really cool. I am curious, what models of Raspberry Pi have you used for these projects?
Okay, so we've been making use of Raspberry Pi 3Bs and 4Bs. 4B is obviously better because it's sort of more highly spec'd. I would say it's not these projects are not suitable for the Pico or Nano devices. So 3B and 4B.
3B and 4B. Okay.
Yeah, those are the ones to get.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. And all right. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the chat. And we are going to go ahead and go on to George, who is going to talk about some open source stuff and a few other things. So, all right, George.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, I have a few different updates that I'm pretty excited to announce. So let's just get right into it. Starting off, I'm excited to announce that version 2 of Esri's Basemap style service has officially released out of beta. So if you don't know what the Basemap style service is, it's a service provided by Esri that allows you to load maps, allows you to load Basemap layers for maps. And you can use
George.
these Basemap. Oh, yeah.
Would you like to share a screen or your screen?
Yeah, I was going to share in a second, actually.
Cool. Sounds good. Sorry.
No,
No
we're
worries.
good.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
let me just share it now, actually. That's a good idea.
Cool.
Get it all keyed up. All right. So where was I? Yeah, so version 2 of the Basemap style service has officially released out of beta. And you can use this service to get basemap layers for your maps. And this will allow you to build apps and display maps on like web pages or any other app that you make, maybe that offline app that Mark was talking about. And all the basemaps from the service come in a wide variety of different creative and fun styles, hence the name Basemap Style Service. So this page is the documentation for the style service. It's on ArcGIS developers website, developers.arcgis.com. And we can just take a look at some of the different styles available through the service. So we've got some pretty standard endpoints like navigation, streets. Maybe if you're building like a routing app, you would use these. Then there's some more fun ones like, well, we obviously have topography and imagery, which is like a standard satellite view. If we go down to the creative section, you can see there's more fun things available, such as colored pencil, community, and even some cool like sci-fi Nova stuff. So let's take a look at some of these new basemap styles used in an application. I'm going to switch over to the Esri leaflet documentation and check out this live app on the website. So this is built in JavaScript using the open source plugin called Esri leaflet. And what this app does is it loads different basemap styles from the Basemap Style Service v2, and we can switch between them with a switcher on the right. So right now we're looking at the ArcGIS outdoor map, but we can switch around and check out maybe what navigation looks like. Oh gosh, I think I got to refresh my page. You can look at, see what navigation looks like on the map. We can check out imagery, which most people are familiar with. But there's also some fun ones. I really like ArcGIS Charted Territory. I think it looks like a really cool kind of old school map that I'm a sucker for. And then, for example, that fun Nova map I mentioned. But another fun feature, another really powerful feature of the Basemap Style Service v2 is the ability to change the labels of the map, change the place label language specifically. So you can see we were just looking at a map in English, but here's another map with the Style Service v2 where all of the labels are displayed in Ukrainian. And we actually have a ton of different languages available, over 30 languages, everything from Ukrainian to Thai to Turkish, obviously English, French, Spanish, and even Chinese we have full support for. So you can see I'm just switching between a couple of different languages now. We can see maybe what the Arabic place labels would look like. And I think this is really going to improve the accessibility of everyone's maps, because you could even add a dynamic language switcher to any map you make using the service. All right, so moving on, I have a couple more updates related to Esri's open source integrations. So if you didn't know, Esri offers integrations with several different open source JavaScript libraries, and we have documentation for those libraries here on the developer's website under the open source category. So I was just showing you Esri leaflet, which is what we use to build those maps, but we also offer fully fledged integrations with MapLibre, OpenLayers, and Cesium.js. So you could use any of these libraries to build pretty much the same app that I just showed you using Esri services. So we've made some updates to the open source community for these for these libraries. So if you look on our Esri community, community.esri.com, we've opened up a new community forum called Open Source Mapping Libraries that you can go to ask questions about any of these libraries. So this is a place to ask questions about Leaflet, MapLibre, OpenLayers, and Cesium. You can see we've already got a bunch of questions in here. And if you have any ideas, feel free to drop them in this forum as well. This could be anything from maybe an idea for a new tutorial you have to an idea for a whole new guide or integration with a different platform. We're always looking to expand our support. And we actually just added Cesium.js earlier this year. So if you have any new libraries you'd like to be able to integrate with Esri, just drop a comment here and we'll definitely see it. You can also access the community page I just showed you through the developer guides. So back in the Esri leaflet guide, we have a community page where you can click here for Esri community. And you can also access the community through this little widget on the side. This is on every page of the website, and it says, was this page helpful? And if it was, or if it wasn't, you can get a link to the Esri community. So that's a great new resource that we just added, this link. All right, so my final update is also related to open source. And I'm excited to announce that Courtney and I are actually going to be attending FOSS4G NA. So if you don't know, FOSS4G stands for Free and Open Source for Geospatial. It's a conference for everything open source in the geospatial community. And Courtney and I will be attending on behalf of Esri and giving a presentation at this year's conference. It's coming up next month. It's in October, and it's in Baltimore. So October 23rd to 25th. Go ahead and buy your tickets. Honestly, it's going to be super fun. And if you are coming to the event, feel free to come introduce yourself to me or Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure, and there will be another Esri employee there as well, doing a talk on COOP, I believe, Andrew Turner. So, yeah, we're very excited to go to it. Well, this will be my first time going to one. I don't know about you, George. Is it?
Yeah, it's actually my first time as well. Our coworker went to the one in Kosovo this year, but yeah, this is honestly Esri's pretty new to these conferences, so we're excited to represent.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I do have a question/comment for you, George. So with the Basemap styles version 2, I think that we know for sure that it'll be coming out soon with JavaScript, like support for it will be the JavaScript SDK and the native SDKs.
Yes.
Do you believe that's correct? Yeah.
It's definitely coming soon. I'm not sure if it's already available in the JavaScript SDK, but it is currently available in all of the open source libraries that I mentioned. Well, specifically Esri Leaflet, MapLibre, and OpenLayers have all fully support the library. And in general, anything that supports Mapbox style JSON for vector tile layers is going to support the service. And you can even query the endpoint directly through the REST API. And then, yeah, as long as it supports Mapbox style JSON, it'll load it in. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, awesome. Cool. All right. Okay, so I guess we're going to go ahead and move on to Kevin now. Thank you so much, George, again. All right, so Kevin is going to show us all about some low-code, no-code options. So, Kevin.
Okay, thanks, Courtney. And let me know if you see my screen.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so we just want to bring y'all's attention to what we've done with the low-code, no-code app builders developer guide. We've really revamped and restructured it where we've really brought the instant apps, dashboards, story maps, and ArcGIS Experience Builder to the forefront. And we've added a lot more resource and tutorials to it. It was initially released back in by user conference of this year, so back about a month and a half ago. So this is our first time really kind of bring this to the forefront, to everyone's attention here. So the one thing that I really want to bring to y'all's attention here, notably here, is the functionality and capabilities table. So essentially, it's kind of used as kind of like a hopefully used as a decision tree in terms of which app builder I will or should go with. Right. Obviously, this is all contingent on your particular workflows, your requirements, and whatnot. But the way we've structured this table hopefully will lend itself nicely to you deciding on a particular builder that might fit your needs, right? Because we've heard in the past that from users and whatnot, just engaging with them, sometimes they just don't know which one to go with. So hopefully this table will demystify some of the confusion and whatnot, and clarify some of the paths that you may choose to select any of these app builders. One of the app builders, that is. So also location services, ArcGIS location services, and the support within it for these builders. And then lastly, the mobile support, right? Because again, everyone is very much building not only for desktop but for also mobile. And as you know, that instant apps and story maps are mobile responsive, while now dashboards and experience builder are very much optimized for mobile form factors. And just the past release, this last release of dashboards, it has been mobile optimized, and I'm going to touch upon that really quickly here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to touch each of these app builders within this guide and just kind of showcase some of the things that might be a good bang for a buck here. So starting with instant apps, right? Instant Apps is very much easy maps creation to an application, right? The easiest path to an app from your web map. It is very highly focused with its templates that it offers, but at the same time, it also allows you to customize. I know, albeit a little bit, it's limited, but it does have some entry points exposed to developers to really customize the feel and look of an instant app application. So one thing I really want to highlight here is the calcite variables and the support for it within instant apps. And as you know, calcite is a component library that Esri created and has maintained. It's actually quite a fantastic component library, and instant apps is primarily built upon that. So this really showcases how you can inject your own custom CSS using calcite variables into it. So we do have a tutorial that really outlines from soup to nuts on how you go about creating and using an app and using these variables. So one of the things that I really want to show here is using the sidebar template in Instant Apps and go into the custom CSS. Obviously, I'm not going to take you through this whole journey of creating it, but what I really want to bring to your attention here is adding these calcite variables, right? And these variables do cater to both the light and dark themes. So it's very much intelligent enough to render components appropriately. So in this situation here, I'm just simply changing the font family and the size within my table of contents here. And this is just a simple app showcasing the hurricanes. This is Lee and this is Margot. So we can definitely change the feel and look of Instant Apps using calcite variables here. Now, moving on to dashboards. So, and I briefly alluded that dashboard is now very much a optimized for mobile form factors. And this page really dives into that. But what I really want to show y'all here is that I do have a dashboard that is configured to showcase Santa Monica trails, right? But the one thing in this configuration aspect of the dashboard is that it also allows you to create a mobile view, right? Obviously, this is something to do, and don't grade me on this how this mobile view is kind of configured, but sometimes this is where I'm going to also allude to how do we create a proper um, view for any type of apps that is really meant for the mobile form factors. But this is the one thing with dashboard is that it does now cater to the mobile form factors, which is an awesome, awesome enhancement. So also want to bring to your, now moving on to story maps. I know it's a whirlwind of information right here, but this is some of the exciting stuff that's coming out within our app builders here. Story maps, obviously well known for creating digital stories that you can publish, and it's really easy to really convey your stories and your message and adding multimedias to it and whatnot. But the one thing that from a developer perspective is that you could actually use story maps to showcase some of your development work, for example, right? So thinking outside of the box here, like for example, sharing your UI UX Figma wireframes for one thing, right? So I do have an application allowing you to showcase your wireframes. In this case, I have a story map using the embed block. I can then inject my Figma prototype where I can actually just start clicking around and seeing what these wireframes and the storyboards has to offer, kind of giving us a quick snapshot of our development effort through story maps, right? And then here's another embedded uh, Figma storyboard, allowing me to just swoop in here, kind of understand what the storyboard looks like, right, for this potential new mobile app and whatnot. But again, just kind of showcasing how story maps may be used to kind of update show the development effort to your stakeholders, for example. Now, sorry, this is something else here. But now, with Experience Builder, now we all know Experience Builder is highly configurable and also customizable, allowing you to create widgets, custom themes, and whatnot, right? So, and I know that, you know, with in the past engaging with customers, we've noticed that Experience Builder is used as a way to integrate other ArcGIS apps into Experience Builder, offering one single experience, right? So this page within the developer guide really walks you through why would you want to do that and how you go about achieving that, right? So I do have an example where I have my dashboard, my instant apps, as well as my story maps, all integrated nicely into one single experience created using Experience Builder. So that's the one thing that I really want to bring to the forefront to everyone's attention, is that this is something that can be done, authored, and without even a single drop of code, right? So it's using the embed widget within Experience Builder, where you can actually not only inject other ArcGIS apps into it, but you can also inject a lot more, like your standalone applications that you've written as well, right? So then lastly, the one thing that I also want to kind of showcase here is the map widget that was released this past ArcGIS Online release, where it has a better what do you call it, performance in terms of synchronizing both 2D and 3D, right? So this is a simple application where on my right side, it's a 3D rendering of Portland, and on the left side, it's a 2D rendering of the actual parcel and the city grid itself, right? So if I start panning around and zooming in and zooming out, you notice that both my 2D and 3D are very much in sync. And again, this has been this type of functionality has been available back in the past releases. But what I want to bring to your attention is that it's a lot more performant. It's highly performant, and also it's one of the things that you would want to inject into your own Experience Builder application. It's just the way to interrogate both a 2D and a 3D map as well, and everything is very much in sync. And then one of our colleagues here at Esri, Thomas Coughlin, has also written a nice little blog post highlighting this highly fun functionality that was just released for Experience Builder. Then last thing that I also want to share is, as a lot of users, and I also going to be blamed for this as well, right? When you start creating your application, you start putting components together and you think, oh, it kind of fits well, everything kind of flows well. But when you put it in front of your customers or any stakeholders, it doesn't really flow correctly, right? So a colleague of ours, Michael Gag, is one of our UI UX gurus, and he's created not only a book about design UI, map UI patterns, but also has a website, a complimentary website, actually kind of helping you how to create proper applications, right? What's the right thing to add? For example, like a map. We all know that whenever we create an application, a map is front and center, but generally it can be seen as a complementary um, element to your information that you want to portray. So just really want to showcase this website, kind of dig into some of these links here, and obviously common mistakes and how to avoid them. That's also a very good read, right? So again, something to really think about when you do start your journey on one of these app builders and selecting, I know, Instant Apps as well as Experience Builder, they do have templates for you to select because those are, I highly suggest you going down that route of selecting those templates because they were already designed for you, right? In terms of workflows and whatnot. But imagine if you do want to start from scratch, right? Definitely have this, give this a read to determine when would be a good time to add a map, and when would it be seen as a complementary to your information, for example, right? Well, so that's all I have from the app builder side of things. Back to you, Courtney.
Awesome. Yeah. That last resource, I've never used it myself, but I certainly can see the benefit of having that like UI help there when designing
Absolutely.
your application. So awesome. Yeah. And sorry, Kevin, the low code, no code guide, that's like been all you're doing mostly. So awesome job. It looks
Thank
really
you.
good. And
Thank you.
yeah, I'm excited to see just continuous improvements to it. I've heard some good things already. So yeah.
Excellent.
Nice. All
Thanks,
right.
Courtney.
Thanks, Kevin. All right, we're going to go on to Raul now, who's going to talk about a bunch of various things, events, and other cool things. So,
Anyway, Kevin, I love that table that you started showing to help people decide which is the best tool. I think we should tweet about it and I share that with more people. I think that will clarify many.
That last resource is what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the first table he showed at the beginning.
Oh,
of
the
his
table.
Presentation. Yeah, table comparing all the different features from the different
functionality and capabilities table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was something that was definitely needed, right? So I'm glad that I worked with our product managers and product marketing managers to really call down the list and make it a little bit more readable and understand. Like it's easily a decision tree for users to follow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kevin.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to share, as Cornelia said, a couple of things about events, but before that, I want to mention a couple of additional changes we haven't announced properly yet. We are planning to write a blog article about this, but just for you to know, maybe some of you have noticed we created a new ideas forum within the Esri community for ArcGIS platform. We didn't have anything like that. That's mainly for you to ask any enhancement on the dashboard, so it's about pricing or capabilities on the product. And another thing we have done that we hope will help you to focus or have a more specific forum for asking questions about location services. So Esri cloud hosted services like the World Geocoder.
Did we lose Raul?
Specific.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to take over a little bit for a second about what he was saying there. So within the Esri community, the REST APIs and services, we have broken it up into more specific sections for you to be able to get your answers question in a little bit better of a fashion. It's a little easier to understand where to put it and where it's easier for us to answer those questions for you. So do we have you back, Raul?
I think so. I didn't know I was off the screen, so
it's okay. It was like in and out kind of, but yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, so you finished explaining this
yes.
tab, right? Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Well, a few other things. We have also introduced labels within the REST APIs forums, enterprise location services, to help you tag, it's not tags because tags are in here, but to label these issues. We highly encourage you to do that because that will help our product teams to better monitor your questions. Otherwise, it's too challenging for all of us to look at all the questions that are coming to the forum. So we are trying to improve there. And also for you, the enhancement or the benefit, if you are not aware of this, the benefit of having labels in here is that you can, if you're very interested on one topic, you can subscribe to the topic and receive notifications when a question coming about this specific topic. So just for you to know. That's it about Esri community changes. I think there have been a few. We hope that you like them. And now I'm really excited to say that Esri is going to be, we are going to be supporting Hacktoberfest. We are working with colleagues internally to enhance and polish some of our open source repo to help the community to contribute to them. If you are not aware, this is an event that has been happening for 10 years, as you can read in here, well, it's being organized or promoted mainly by DigitalOcean. It is a party to celebrate all things open source. It's not a competition event among developers. So DigitalOcean will be providing some digital prizes, as well as they will be planting trees for it. I don't remember how many it was, like 75,000 first contributors.
Maybe 50,000,
50.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
We are going to also provide another prize. We will publish a blog article soon with the details, but that prize is going to be a developer summit registration ticket for free. So we hope that help some of you to get some additional motivation, in addition to how motivating it is to contribute to open source in general, to do some small contribution or big contributions to these repos. So really excited about this. Took us some time to work internally on how we were going to be doing this. So hope you enjoy and you consider to participate. It's going to be the whole month of October. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
About events, well, I just want to share some events we are attending and some things we are.
Lost him again. All right. So let's see. So Rachel attended DevRelCon recently, which, nope, still not there. Which, as you can see here, she had a great time. I can't see his text very well, but I certainly will say that she's already given us so much feedback and had so many good conversations with different developers and other, so many other like people in the DevRel world. So I'm really interested to hear more about what she has to say. She's gonna meet with us next week. Yeah, it looks like she had a really awesome time. I'm definitely jealous. So, Raul?
I'm going to blame my son. I don't know who is using my connection at home and stealing the whole bandwidth upload. Anyway, thank you, Courtney, for being there. I will be also attending to the Esri Spain user conference to talk to more Esri developers, people using ArcGIS technologies, and better understand how we can keep helping you. I'm going to be also, during October, I will be on the API Addicts Days in Madrid. We are going to be sharing some of the challenges we face when trying to keep our APIs to latest trends and how we are building the new generation of APIs. And we are facing some challenges, and we want to share our experience there. Hopefully that will be helpful for the community in general. We will also have Hudson, one colleague from the Kotlin team, that is going to be on DroidCon London. He is going to be talking about error propagation, how they implement or how they design the strategy of error propagation within the Kotlin SDK. We are really excited to have him there sharing, again, internal experiences at Esri, building our products, and hopefully helping other people to get ideas and inspiration on how we're doing these things. Last but not least, I hope I don't lose the connection again. I just want to remember everyone that Dev Summit Europe is coming. At least, I know for sure, Courtney, you and myself will be there, right?
I believe so.
So we really hope we can meet you there and we can talk, share experiences. So really encourage you to take a look. And remember, you can participate on Hacktoberfest, and maybe you can get your ticket for free if you don't already have one because you have an enterprise subscription, like a premium one or something like that. we know some of you have. So, yeah, really
Yeah,
excited.
and even if you can't go to the Berlin one and you win that ticket, you could choose to go to the Palm Springs one as well. So it'll be, your option.
Yeah. And that's it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Raul. Yeah, lots of fun, different, little things with the community, with the events, it's, lots of cool stuff going on. Now, to transition to kind of finishing up here, there are a few more live streams that we're going to be having over the next couple of months. So in relation to Hacktoberfest, we will be having a live stream on Thursday next week. So that'll be September 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So same starting time. Again, Thursday, September 21st for that. We'll go into more details about how you can participate and such. Then we also will have a CalSite design system live stream on October 10th, also at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And finally, we will have on November 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time, that will be the JavaScript SDK version 4.28 release, all about that. So as you can see, we've got all those there. We will update those image thumbnails soon for those last two. But yeah, awesome. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. This developer experience plus a few extras maybe live stream is a quarterly event. So look out for us again in a couple of months. And let me get everyone on the screen here. Let's see, because I think we lost Raul again. All right, let's see. Here we go. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you so much for joining. If you do have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat there. And we will get to them as soon as we can. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. Bye for now, everyone.
Yeah. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.